My name is Sarah, and if you grew up in my family, you'd think the sun rose and set on my brother Ethan. He was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. Every family gathering, every holiday, it was Ethan this, Ethan that. And me? I was the afterthought. The one expected to smile from the sidelines while my brothers soaked up the praise. I stayed quiet for years, but the truth is, I gave more to this family than Ethan ever did. When our parents bought the house we all called home, I drained my savings to help with the mortgage. When the roof needed repairs, when the kitchen had to be renovated, when bills piled up, it was me who wrote the checks. I told myself it was worth it, because Dad promised me something no one else heard. Sarah, this house will always be yours. You've earned it. A huge share of it will belong to you. I believed him, I trusted him, and it wasn't just the house. Every time Ethan got himself into trouble, a bad investment, a temporary cash flow issue, another reckless decision, guess who he came to? Me. And every time I handed over what little I had, convincing myself that helping him would keep the peace, that one day he'd appreciate me. But he never did. Then Dad got sick. The whispers about inheritance began. Ethan inserted himself into every conversation with Mom and Dad, talking like he was already the head of the family. I thought I could ignore it until the day the will was read. I still remember sitting in that lawyer's office. My hands were shaking, but I wasn't worried. I had faith in Dad's promise, in everything I had sacrificed for years. And then, the papers were laid out. My portion was almost nothing. Ethan had it all. The house, the land, the accounts, everything I had worked for, every dollar I poured in, every promise Dad ever made me. Gone. Mom sat there stone-faced, nodding like she had expected it. When I turned to her, begging for an explanation, her words cut me deeper than anything. This is how it should be, Sarah. Your brother has always been the responsible one. He'll take care of things. Responsible? The same brother who borrowed money from me every chance he got? The one drowning in debt? When I confronted Ethan, his smirk told me everything. You thought Dad was going to give it to you? Please, I'm the one who matters in this family. You should be grateful I'm not throwing you out today. My stomach dropped. The humiliation was worse than the betrayal. Not only had my brother stolen everything, my own mother stood by his side while they tried to erase me from our family legacy. That night, I sat alone in my tiny apartment, the walls bare from everything I'd sold to support them. I had nothing left. No savings, no home, no inheritance. But I had one thing Ethan didn't see coming. I had the truth, and I was ready to fight with everything I had. The day I walked into the lawyer's office to challenge the will, I felt like a soldier stepping onto a battlefield. Ethan thought he had erased me. Mom thought siding with him meant the world would stay the same. They were wrong. I had proof. Every receipt, every bank statement, every transfer I had ever made toward the mortgage and renovations, I kept them all. Every time Ethan came begging for a small loan, I recorded the payments. Years of sacrifice, quietly documented, ready to come to light. When the courtroom battle began, Ethan strutted in with his smug grin, confident he was untouchable. Mom sat behind him, glaring at me like I was the betrayer for even daring to fight. But as my lawyer laid out the evidence, I watched Ethan's golden mask begin to crack. Bank transfers, canceled checks, text messages where he promised to pay me back, receipts for renovations where I covered thousands while he contributed nothing. And then the dagger, Dad's handwritten notes about his promise to me, that my share of the home would reflect the sacrifices I made. For the first time, Ethan looked nervous. When Mom was called to speak, she tried to defend him, painting me as jealous, as someone trying to tear the family apart. But under cross-examination, even she couldn't deny seeing me write the checks, watching me drain my savings, or hearing Dad's words of reassurance. Her silence spoke louder than her defense. By the end, Ethan's debts, lies, and manipulation were laid bare for everyone to see. The golden child wasn't golden at all. He was a fraud propped up by favoritism, hiding behind a mother who refused to see the truth. The judge's ruling was clear. The will had been altered under undue influence. My rightful share of the estate was restored, and Ethan was ordered to repay part of what he had taken from me. But the real punishment wasn't in dollars. It was in the whispers that followed. Relatives who once praised him now shook their heads. Friends distanced themselves. His golden reputation was gone, shredded in public, replaced with the truth of who he really was. As for Mom, she couldn't look me in the eye. Maybe she realized too late what her blind devotion had cost. Maybe she didn't. But I no longer needed her approval. I walked out of that courtroom not just with justice, but with my dignity. They tried to erase me from my own family. Instead, it was Ethan who ended up erased. Stripped of everything he thought made him untouchable. I didn't win because I was the favorite. I won because I had the truth. And in the end, that truth destroyed the golden child. My story isn't just about money. It's about trust, betrayal, and finding strength when everyone is against you. Greed can change the people we love the most. But in the end, the truth always finds its way to the light. What about you? Have you ever faced betrayal from someone you trusted? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it.